Welcome back. What is this, MMA calculator?
I think it did Attic MMA.
Oh, MMA Attic. Get in our attic.
Welcome back. We're here with the results for UFC Fight Night Vegas 93 and PFL Week 4. Our results this week were terrible, but we're not going to hide anything, so let's jump right into it. Starting off with the PFL, we were not able to watch the fights on Thursday, so we're just going to quickly go over the card. On the prelims, the model correctly picked 5 out of 7 fight winners. But where do you think we placed our wagers? Our first bet was on Lisa Malden, and she was TKO'd early in the second round. Our next wager was on Shayna Young, and she lost by decision. On the main card, the model went 4 for 4. Our only play here was on Linton Vassell, and this was a close fight that broke our way to make sure we didn't get skunked on the card. This was a bad start to the weekend, but we assumed the UFC would help us make up some ground. Starting off with the first fight of the night, Julia Pilastri versus Josephine Knutson. Knutson started off as the much more aggressive fighter, and she controlled most of the first round. She was taken down at the end of the first round and easily mounted by Pilastri. The second round started just like the first, but Pilastri was able to get the takedown much earlier. Knutson got frustrated on the bottom and tried to get stood up by kicking Pilastri in the face. Going into the third, Pilastri was the live betting favorite. Unfortunately, she decided to keep the fight on the feet and didn't shoot a takedown until almost 4 minutes into the third round. Pilastri lost the unanimous decision, and we lost our first wager of the night. Our next play was on Jimmy Flick in his fight against Nate Maness. This was a good fight with plenty of submission attempts coming from both fighters. Flick was using his body kicks and front kicks to good effect, but Maness was winning most of the striking exchanges. He got the unanimous decision victory. That's 2 of 2 wagers lost, and unfortunately, it's not getting better. Moving on to Asu Almabayev versus Jose Johnson. The story of this fight is a bantamweight who thought he could move down to 125 and bully the fighters. Almabayev turned out to be the bully and dominated Johnson most of the fight. Johnson had a chance in the second with a tight triangle, but Almabayev is too skilled and was able to escape. Easy, unanimous decision win for Almabayev. In the feature fight, we bet Timmy Kuamba as the favorite against Lucas Almeida. The fight started rough when Almeida dropped Kuamba 90 seconds into round 1. Kuamba tried a takedown, but Almeida was able to defend. Kuamba's timing and range was looking good at the end of the first and carried through into the second. Kuamba is landing heavy shots, and then Almeida lands a bomb and drops Kuamba again. They are both landing good power shots, but Almeida's shots seem to be much more effective. Kuamba was able to finish the fight on top, landing heavy ground and pound, but it was too little, too late, and Almeida took the decision. In our final play of the card, we took the action on the underdog, Silva de Andrade versus Miles Johns. It was a back-and-forth first round. Andrade was landing much more volume, but Johns' fewer shots seemed to have more effect on Andrade. Johns' heavy shots continued into the second, while Andrade seemed much more tentative. Andrade does get a good spinning back kick at the end of the second, but it doesn't fully land. The third round is easily Andrade's best round, but Johns is still throwing and landing heavy. Andrade landed a jumping knee that knocked the mouthpiece out of Johns. Unfortunately, he doesn't pursue hard enough, and the ref jumps in to give Johns his mouthpiece back and a chance to recover. Later in the round, a spinning heel kick has Johns seeing stars again. They tried to imitate Holloway and Gaethje at the end, but it was a poor imitation. This was by far our worst performance ever, so let's take a look at the overall results. Starting with the PFL, the model picked 9 out of 11 winners. We made plays on both of the model's incorrect predictions, so that really hurt our betting results. This is forcing us to look into our betting indicators. With the model picking winners at this high of a rate, we should have a higher success rate on our bets. We have come up with our first indicator adjustment, and we will cover that in this week's prediction video. We risked 3 units on PFL 4 and returned 3.45 units. so at least we made a small profit of 0.45 units. Taking a look at Vegas 93, the model majorly underperformed on this card. These are the worst results we've ever had. The model correctly predicted 3 out of 11 fights. We lost on all 5 of our wagers, including one favorite. We risked 6.09 units and lost it all. Let's add these 2 cards to our all-time results and see where we're at. The model is still doing well at 108 of 165 fights correctly predicted, while our wagers have dropped to only hitting on 39 out of 84. We have risked 94.25 units and returned 98.97 units. At least even after this awful week, we are still in the green with an overall profit of 4.72 units. Keep an eye on the channel. We have a huge weekend of fights coming up with Bellator, PFL, and UFC going down, and we will be bringing you predictions for all 3.